So who took the stage recently for a tech announcement? Can you take a guess? All done? Okay, it's Apple. What did they have to say? Let's dive right in. Starting off with the iPhone. The iPhone 13 and the 13 Pro have another color in their lineup. There's now a shade of green for the iPhone 13 and, wait for it, Alpine green for the iPhone 13 Pro. Was that necessary? These are more of a darker green finish, which on the 13 is glossy, while the 13 Pro is matte. I do like how these colors look. In fact, green is my second favorite color, while red is my first. I mean, yes, you can see that I have a green wall, green phone case, green iPad mini case, and okay, green used to be my favorite color until I switched to red. But at the time, I wanted green everything, so I still have it. Okay, moving on. Long story short, you have another color option for the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro now. Pre-orders for these start on March 11th and are available on March 18th. So, if you're interested, get ordering now. Yes, I mean now if you want it. Okay? Alright? Good. What else did Apple have to say for the iPhone? That low-cost iPhone that has the same design as the iPhone 8? Yep, that one got an upgrade. While keeping the exact same design with the 4.7-inch screen, it's got the A15 chip. Same chip in the iPhone 13, making this thing very fast and smooth. Smooth like butter. Wait, what? The graphics for this is 1.2 faster than the previous second generation iPhone SE. It'll have 5G built in and you have 3 colors to pick. Midnight, Starlight, Product Red. Although it has the same design, this time Apple used the same glass that's found on the iPhone 13 for both the front and the back. We also have a 12 megapixel camera, Touch ID around the home button. Yes, it still has a home button for those that don't like finger gestures. Why did I get worked up just now? I have no idea. Moving on. What else did I want to mention? Oh yeah! Better battery life with 2 extra hours of video playback. Starting price is $429, with pre-order starting on March 11th and available on March 18th. I will say, for the design of the iPhone SE, I guess it's outdated. It's still a great looking phone though. I like how they took an older design, pack newer internals inside, and basically make it modern while using old parts. And that's a great choice for those getting into the iPhone for the first time, but also for those getting into a smartphone for the first time, especially when coming from a flip phone. I wonder when this design will get discontinued, but hopefully it stays for a while. But that's enough of the iPhone, let's move on. It's time for the iPad. So, which iPad got an update? Take a guess. Yes, it's the iPad Air. First off, it's got the M1 chip. Wait, what? M1? Oh yeah, the same 8-core CPU that's 60% faster than the previous A14. Plus, there's a 2 times increase for graphics performance. That's great and all, but the question still stands. You ready? Where's Final Cut Pro? Hey, I'm not a full-time video producer, but I'm speaking up for those that are and use this. Okay. Calm down. Moving on. The new iPad Air still has the 10.9-inch liquid retina display. Touch ID is still on the top button. It has a 12 megapixel wide camera and a front 12 megapixel ultra wide camera with something extra. What could it be? Center stage. Alright, that's enough. This has 5G built in for cellular access. The USB-C port now has 2 times faster file transfers and is available in 5 colors, which are Space Gray, Starlight Pink, Purple, and Blue. Starting at $599, and the storage options are 64 gigabytes and 256 gigabytes. Pre-orders start on March 11th and are available on March 18th. So as far as the looks, it's the same as last year, but here's the thing. When the previous iPad Air was announced, I really love that design. And when the iPad mini 6 pretty much looked like that, it's what got me to get one last year. There is one thing I find odd about it though. What's that? Well, you have less color choices. I can see reasons for that from a business perspective, but I mean, come on. No more green? Don't forget, green's my second favorite color. First is red, but even this model doesn't have a product red. Wouldn't that be epic? Now, had this got updated when the iPad mini 6 was announced last year, would I have still gotten the mini or the Air? I've always wanted the Air when the previous one came out, but when starting to want one, I decided to hold off. That was to see if it'll get a refresh, but didn't happen until over a year later. That's okay, I love the mini now. Alright. Are you ready for the next piece? If not, well, you'll want to because this is epic! Now we are shifting gears in this video. All done with the mobile devices, let's talk about computers and Mac. Starting with the M1 chip. Ever since Apple started putting their own SoCs into some of their Mac products, it's been a blast. Blocks, customers, developers, pretty much everyone said these chips are blazing fast. And this became even more extreme. And I mean more. Man, I need to control myself. This became more extreme when the M1 Pro and the M1 Max came out to the newer MacBook Pros. That's great and all, but we have a new chip, and it's doubled the M1 Max. How crazy is that? Introducing to the world, M1 Ultra. It's got Ultra Fusion with 2.5 terabytes per second interprocessor bandwidth, 114 billion transistors, 800 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth, 128 gigabytes of unified memory, 20 core CPU, 64 core GPU, which is 8 times faster than the original M1. Oh man, I can't keep up. The Neural Engine has 32 cores with 22 trillion operations per second. This chip will help a lot with video improvements. I mean, wow. With such a much more powerful chip, what Mac is it going into? Well, Apple announced a new one to stuff this bad boy into. Which one is that? Well, now let's shift to the next announcement. The Mac Studio. Another desktop in the Mac lineup. It's basically a much taller and bigger Mac Mini, but also a better Mac Pro? According to Apple, that is correct, and you'll see why. The chassis is a 7.7-inch square enclosure, and you have 2 CPU options to pick from. First is the M1 Max, which will have 64 gigabytes of unified memory, and Apple claims this is 4 times faster than their fastest iMac. Now, the other CPU choice is, of course, M1 Ultra, containing 128 gigabytes of unified memory, and Apple claims this is 80% faster than the fastest Mac Pro. That's insane. I mean, a little box? Come on! I need to relax. Okay, I think I'm calm now. The most powerful graphics you can get in this Mac Studio is 48 gigabytes of video memory. It also has 7.4 gigabytes per second SSD performance with a capacity of 8 terabytes. You can play 18 streams, aka 8K ProRes 422 video. As speechless I am about the Mac Studio, how much does it cost? With the M1 Max containing 32 gigabytes of memory, 512 gigabytes SSD, starting price is $1,999. Now with the M1 Ultra containing 64 gigabytes of memory, a 1 terabyte SSD, starting price is $3,999. Boy, this Mac Studio. I don't know what to say. It's definitely not for everyone, that's for sure. I have some more to say, but let's discuss that later, as there's one more piece Apple has added to the Mac Studio. What else could be needed for this kind of Mac? Well, a new monitor. Yes, the Studio Display, an all-screen design with narrow borders, made out of aluminum and is very thin. The display is 27 inches diagonal with 14.7 million pixels, 600 nits of brightness, 1 billion colors, and it's a 5K Retina display with True Tone. Also has an anti-reflective coating, but there's also a nano textured glass option. On top of that, Apple integrated the A13 chip. Wait, an SoC in a monitor? Why? Well, there are some reasons for this. This has a built-in 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera that supports center stage, bringing this to the Mac for the first time. Anyway, in addition, the Studio has a 6-speaker sound system with spatial audio. Now, the I/O. Oh shoot, I almost said iOS. Okay, that was lame. Moving on. There's 3 USB-C ports with rates going at 10 gigabytes per second. But there's also 1 Thunderbolt port delivering 96 watts of power, which can be used for charging your MacBook, for example. In fact, you could connect 3 of these displays to your MacBook Pro. Something small you can add to this is, well, the Magic Keyboard, trackpad, and mouse. But there's a twist. You can pick from 2 colors, black or silver. Nice! Alright, so how much is the Studio Display? It'll be $15.99. Now, you have a few ways to get this. First, with the stand that can tilt 30 degrees, a tilt and height adjustable stand, or the VESA mount adapter. So you can have it on your desk a couple ways, or be fancy and have it hang over your desk. Both the Mac Studio and the Studio Display can be ordered actually now and available on March 18th. Okay, so now let's go back to my thoughts on the Mac Studio and also the Studio Display. Reason for that is Apple intended these products to be used and pictured together. The Mac Studio is, well, what Apple sees for people that have powerful machines in their studios. Man, used the word studio too many times. This computer looks pretty much a pro version of the Mac Mini. While it looks cool, hopefully it doesn't get looked at as a trash can Mac like that cylindrical design Mac Pro at the time. I would think a pro user would want to have a nice decent sized tower with hard drive expansion and use that versus something very small and compact. But it's also about the power. I'm really curious to see how this will take off and hope it's successful. And when putting this together with the studio display, it's a perfect match. You can put this desktop next to the display and doesn't take up a lot of room on your desk. I like my Mac Mini for this reason, other than that it's more affordable for what I need. This makes me wonder though, what does Apple have in plan for when the Mac Pro gets their SoC? M1 Ultra Max? M1 Ultra Madness? Okay, I'm just throwing names out there. But bottom line, we may end up having something extremely more powerful. But the future's so far out, let's just wait and see versus jinxing things. For these products, to sum up my impression, I have nothing to say except, oh my. Well, that's it for this video. What do you guys think of Apple's announcements? Are you getting any of these products or sticking to what you have now? Does Apple suck and you like Microsoft or Google better? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to rate this video if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe and bell notification button to be notified when I post a new video. Also follow me on Twitter to see what I'm up to, as if I'm planning on working on a new video. I'll mention it there first, so this way you get a sneak peek. And just curious too, I've been posting in the community section of the channel every now and then. What do you guys think? If I've not posted a new video but heard of some interesting tech news, would you like to see the updates there? Let me know, as your feedback is appreciated. Thank you so much for watching.